page. Okay, I'll just do a quick introduction and go over what happened last time, and then we'll be able to continue on with y'all taking some of the justice of the Gringo Glade into your own hands a little bit more. So I'm Michael Matthews. I'm running the game, The Play That Woke by Paul Sega. Part of the Gauntlet community, so the Gauntlet inclusivity policy is always in there. X card is available, and we have some lines and veils we put down from previous sessions.
Cool. I'm Elias, and I'm playing Hepias the Minotaur.
Hola, as I go by Dynamoon Online, I use she, her, and I'm playing Jirilo the Minotaur, who is a philosopher.
So, real quick, just to make things a little easier on me, I'm going to because I have on the Trello I'm using, I have got like your names and things, but you were part of different jobs before, so I've got you slotted in those. I'm going to put you in one place. Because I really don't want to refer to them as like Elias's Minotaur or Diana's Minotaur.
Now that we have names.
Yeah, like if in the other game it would be no big deal. It'd just be this. But here I'm like, oh no, that's an important part of it now. So let's try to use it. All right, do we want to go over what has happened in the past few sessions, to at least refresh from last week?
Okay. So at the beginning of this last session, we all came back from the jungle into the Gringo Glade, which is the city, right? The Gringo Glade is the city.
Basically, and as far as any of you are kind of aware, there's pretty much just the Gringo Glade and the jungle, and that might as well be the world.
Yes. And a mysterious amount of time has passed, and we have found different jobs, and our friend Tomer was working for a wealthy man who was the Empyrei. He was the Empyrei, right? Or his father was the Empyrei?
Yeah, he was Dariangelis Empyrei was.
Yes.
He was hoping to essentially take over when it's from his father, but his father was very much favoring his sister.
Yes.
Ramiel.
Yes, yeah. So Ramiel and Dariangelis. So Tomar's nameless Minotaur was working for Dariangelis, who was addicted to a drug which came from a beetle which harvests children's dreams. And this man believed that if he just kept getting the dreams from the same specific child, he would learn a secret word of power that he could use to control people, or at least like make them go unconscious or something. And Diana, playing Jirilo, was working for Talosh at the Shining Scarab, which was the place where the beetles that create this drug were being harvested. And I was working for a man named Caladro, I believe, who is an expert using the Whisper Seed, which is a seed that if someone ingests, it will kind of like record everything that they say, and then that can be read back later by someone else who first ingests a special tincture and then ingests the seed again. And basically, in the session, we kind of tried to prevent any children or old people at the Shining Scarab from being harmed from greedy human activity. But ultimately, in the process of trying to pit Ramiel and Dariangelis against each other, Ramiele learned of the secret of this that the Dariangelis was chasing and wants it for herself now.
Damn, you take notes like a champ. You then have a great memory.
No, I mean, I have a long list of names, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Jirilo believes that Mistress Dreams is doing good work, giving the poor like something to do that's, and it's to our knowledge isn't hurting anybody.
Yeah, and there was there were definitely other little rumblings like there was a man named Paulson who may or may not come up again who wanted to get in on the Talash's organization, basically get control. Um, and so basically, all these people are seeing what Talash is doing, and they kind of want in on it.
Yep. As soon as you have someone making a whole bunch of money, other people are going to want to be able to do that as well. As I recall, you actually, and I'm trying to remember the specifics, you sort of left on the outs with Ramil because she had given you some money for the information on her brother. But as I recall, you were ready to go kind of head to head.
Yeah. So I think that kind of at the end of the last session, I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I'm happy with the kind of like predicament that I've been put in. I think, and so it's not great that she's discovered this thing, and I broke silence to basically tell her that I would not allow her to find this child. Um, but I think from like a meta level of like backtracking and figuring out what would actually be like a smart thing to do, I think really the goal is to kind of pit the two siblings against each other because clearly like neither of them are good people. So but yeah, right now I'm in a bit of a spot, I think.
And I think last time, we also, partly because to give a little bit of closure with Tomero's character, just so he kind of had the more of the full story, because I think we sold out what was going on to your previous employer, Darian Jalise. As I recall, they let his father know, which had ruined some things for him.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because we kind of moved towards that. Actually, let me move his stuff. I also want to just kind of check where we're at. Token wise, Elias, yours is all the way over on the right.
Yeah, I should be at 5 courage, 2 mind, 1 life, and 2 silence. Because I spent my 2 name to make some stuff happen.
And by the way, what name numbers are both of you at?
I think I'm still at 1 because I have too many silence.
Yeah, I'm at 2.
Okay. So yeah, basically kind of getting more status and more just ability to kind of discover things and get truths, possible truths. And yeah, I can treat as life tokens, because life tokens can also be pretty great as far as getting help. Efforts change the mind of the opposition. Yeah, so that stuff gives you a lot more opportunity to really kind of discover things, change hearts, get your life back. Because the biggest thing, gift tokens are great for wild cards. But you kind of only want to pull one, because multiple ones become a skull token. Alright, so we can probably pick it up after you have left Ramil's place. Darian Jalise has had a good deal of his power kind of cut from underneath him. He's also going to be aware that there's really no reason Ramil would hide. Probably that it was from you. Mm-hmm. My guess is it would be hard for him to know you're the one behind it. So right now you are without employment, but you have just gotten a good deal of money. Or no, sorry, you were working for Caladro, correct?
Yeah. So Caladro was kind of roped into this.
Yeah,
it got a little and wavy at the end of last session because I think usually Caladro's the one who kind of like does the whisper seed stuff, but this case he just kind of like administered it and then we gave it to Ramil.
Yeah, so we had that little bit of like speeding it up towards the end of last time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's right. That won't matter for you because you were working for Caladro and Jirilo's working for Talosh.
Yeah.
So, At this point, the two of you know that you have a different Empyrei right now who is very interested in trying to find out what's going on, and this is the one that has the fuller backing of her father. Assuming you two will have an opportunity to speak after you return from Caladro is thrilled. The amount of money the two of you have earned is a lot more than he would have gotten for the most part.
Yeah.
I forget. Did I witness Hepias breaking silence and being like, "I'm not going to give you the name," or was that separate? And would you have told me afterwards if I was a witness to it?
We can just start, I guess, with me telling you about that. That sounds fine to me. I think so.
Okay.
I give the money to Caladro, and Caladro's super happy about it, and probably
Gives you your share.
yeah. Okay. So that's probably a significant amount of money for me.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it's a little bit. It's more than you would normally get for a thing because you did a lot more to bring this to him, and the amount of money he's gotten is huge. He also knows that there's a decent chance that when he gets it, he's just like, because he wasn't with you when you went and talked to her, was he?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, he was. Or okay. Yeah, so he'll ask, and I get probably Jirilo there as well. So what happened?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just loading all this information in my head.
Gotta chip it in.
Yeah. Empyrei Remiel discovered the extent of her brother's treachery, and decided that it was time to take matters into her own hands, and wanted to reward us justly.
Yeah, but she's the money. This, oh my god, the gods! This is, I mean, it cuts off like this is a generous portion for you.
Mm-hmm.
We keep a good we keep a good relationship with her. We'll be able to make money hand over fist. Someone who's coming into power, the amount of stuff that they could learn, like this is amazing. You and I, we could retire if we wanted, if we play our cards right.
I think, well, I as he's saying that, I think about the very last thing which I did, which was make Ramiel mad at me. And yeah, I'll say, or we go, or you go find less dangerous clients. I believe while the money this woman is throwing around is significant, I believe the danger is significant also.
How much less we'd have to do? She has people who would be able to get the whisper seeds where we need them. We'd have all sorts of cutthroats or assassins to sneak their way in. Get that, like, for us, it could be so much easier.
People with this much money are inherently unstable.
I hope to be one stable someday.
I think I'm gonna quit the job. I have enough money for now. I can go find other work when I need to. So I walk towards the door, and then I turn around and I say, I don't have my list of things that break silence, so I don't know if I'm breaking silence right now.
Oh, it's on the character sheets. It's the easiest way.
Yeah. do not express your emotions. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I say, Caladro, you have been a sufficient, if underwhelming, employer. I believe that our time together is up. I wish you well.
Up! Look at how much we've just made. You have a problem working with her? Like, look at all of this money. Look at what we've made. How well off we can be. You got a gift for this.
And yeah, I'll kind of shake my bag, have it jingle, and say, "This is enough for me." If you continue to work with her, that is your own imperative.
Well, you're making a mistake. This is a good partnership.
With that, I head to the Shining Scarab, I think.
Okay. I've also just put those in roll 20, just underneath the Crater of Loss.
What did you put in roll 20? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I had the PDF of the character sheet open in a different tab. I usually actually have the book with me, but I just didn't have it open.
It is a pretty little book.
Yeah. Yeah, more people need to get art done by Nate, whatever his name. I can't remember. Because as far as I'm sorry?
We'll see if it's on Nate Marcel.
Yeah, Nate Marcel. I mean, he did Clay That Woke and he did Dungeon World.
Oh, cool.
I don't know anything else that he's done, but I don't know. He's a good artist.
It's really lovely artwork. It reminds me of like the old fantasy magazines. What's it?
Yeah.
Like heavy metal style, but not too extreme, but like that kind of.
Yeah.
on the opposite end of the Thor Love and Thunder logo, which made me think very much like some old heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, apparently I was not brutal enough towards Caladro to break silence, so I think.
Yeah, I would say you didn't. I think our time is done as a fairly.
Yeah. Well, I called him underwhelming, but apparently he wasn't offended by that. I guess he has enough money, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When I show up at the Shining Scarab, I'm gonna find Jirilo, and I'll tell you about talking to Ramiel, and that the Shining Scarab could be in danger. Still. Yeah.
So,
out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah. I think like during this time I'd be probably like with the help of like Tamara's Minotaur, who had a nose for these things, to find the exact child that could be it. So and try to get them off rotation. So because I feel like maybe the Empyrei might not be the only one searching. Like the Empyrei had the most money to do the most, but yeah.
Yeah, Terminus Minotaur would let you know, because the problem with finding out which one it was is that he would, unless we hear the child speaking at night, or if there's been any seizures that anybody has had, if he's spoken aloud. But there's something about the dreams of one of them. So we'd have to have someone sampling the dreams of this child to see if this ancient language comes through.
I think I would trust my mistress enough to like bring that up as an idea, like someone she trusts to start sampling, because we don't want to have this problem again. And we don't want the child to get hurt in any way, for someone to like, or any of the children, because they could be like, oh, it's one of the,
Yeah. So let's have you two get together. And I think that will probably become an inflection.
Okay.
to see if, because as I think we can kind of go a little apocalypse worldy in it, where it's if it kind of comes out well, like you find it before something else happens, because it'll take a little bit of digging. But
Okay.
it'll be a thing we can kind of take a look at.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
like what's going on through my mind.
Yeah.
You probably find me happiest like in like one of the offices, and I'm like going through I guess what the paperwork and stuff, and trying to find any, just to see if there's any other like clients that had been specifically asking for children or something like. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Has there been any progress finding the child?
Until we get the mistress's approval to have someone sample the children, no. It's just we don't keep a system like that. It's better for it to be more anonymous, safety for the humans.
Jirilo, after seeing what this knowledge did to Raymiel and to Dariangelis, are you perhaps I am perhaps concerned what this power might do to Talosh.
Do you think she'd want to take advantage to have the ear of an Empyrei? She did not like D'Angelo very much, so
This is true.
it could be possible that she does have no need for that kind of power. It would be nice if some humans didn't.
I know what you've told me in the past about your desire for a family. And I respect your relationship with the people here. If you believe that it is best to give this child to Talosh so that she may help hold her position here, I will support you in that. But you may also want to consider that maybe the child should disappear.
Disappear. Children disappearing tends to have a different connotation here in Duran Glade.
Disappear to safety.
But besides you and Cernanos, who's gone off who knows where with their last job, there's not many people I trust to take the child in safety. And I think Jirilo isn't quite getting what you're implying.
Yeah. And we'll leave that there though. I'll say think about it. And then do we are we able to find anything in the paperwork that might give us a lead about like which batch of children we're looking at, or should we go down to the floor and keep searching there? What do you think?
Like if we have to interview the children, or is it only through the beetles that we could figure it out?
Yeah.
Well, Tomer can let you know that according to Jerry and Jalise, these were dreams in a different, like the whole thing was in a different language, some sort of like ancient memory that was kind of laced into their laced into them. So the person may be aware, may not be. There might be some ways to sort of look into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. The kids might, if it's disturbing dreams, they might remember that. Because they still remember their dreams despite it being taken from them, right?
They can. I mean, the thing is people's dreams are always a bit odd.
Right. It is an odd city, after all.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes you remember your dreams. Sometimes you don't. Yeah.
Oh, here's something we can do here. I uh Jirilo, why wait for your master? We should act while the iron's hot. We should find someone to sample the dreams and just do it now.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Especially if there's more parties interested in this child. All right, I'll take you down there. Let's see if we can find somebody to sample. Because yeah, I think Drillo's like really worried about the child and the child and the whole safety of this operation.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so I would take Hepias down to where the children are, or at least yeah, the ones that are being collected right now. The
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep switching to the wrong tab.
And let me. One thing real quick. So you're going down to try to like look on the floor to. So how are you trying to find out who it was? Find someone to
I
take it?
think I'm gonna spend some of the money that I just got and try to find the most reputable looking person on the streets who will agree to come with me and try some drugs.
Hey man, you want to try some drugs? No thanks. No,
Yeah.
man, I'm buying it for you.
Yeah,
I'll
my
just
treat.
be there for it.
You
Yeah,
just have to tell us what you experience.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you head out, and it's one of those things where you kind of have enough coin, where you find someone who's clearly very hungry, and
Yeah.
he's been heading around. He's been doing some physical work for like pittance. You're not even sure if he's probably been paid in a little while, but he's the kind of person that could probably be fairly easily um, uh, brought in.
Yeah. Um, yes, you. Uh, I can. I have a. I have a favor to ask of you, and I'm willing to pay.
It kind of
Would you
gives
like a meal? I can give you a place to sleep.
He kind of stands up and kind of looks at you. Is like, what is it you're looking for?
Um, I need you. Uh, uh, well, okay. I have enough tact to maybe realize that there's no good way to explain this on the spot. So I'll say, uh, do you know of the Shining Scarab?
He sells some sort of drug. Something about a bug.
Yes. My lady, the owner of the Shining Scarab, needs an extra pair of hands to help with something related to the drug. This is a time-sensitive thing.
He's hungry, but he's like, the hunger in his eyes is probably like, but it seems a little wary. He goes, why would they not have someone who's? Why isn't someone who works there being hired for this? Why find someone on the street?
The
We need an unbiased opinion.
yeah, the Shining Scarab is short-staffed right now, and we also need an unbiased opinion, an outsider. We need your yeah.
Yeah, he seems a little reluctant, but he does head back there with you.
Yeah.
I'm Bashir.
Yeah, along the way, I'll buy some food from a street vendor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it must be some kind of weird insect, right? Like on a stick.
Yeah, there's a decent amount you can find those.
Yeah.
Like cricket sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Buy him some hot cricket sticks, and pass those over. And then, when we get to the Shining Scarab,
Did I freeze up?
Did you miss something?
I think
Oh,
I
you
may
were
have.
frozen.
I think I froze up because you both froze up to me, so I'm guessing it was me that froze up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
sure.
froze for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you got those yellow bars. Probably not too bad. Yeah. So I bring him into the Shining Scarab, breeze past any guards who I hope that Jirilo has dealt with, and basically I'll explain to him how the drug works, and I'll say that it's perfectly safe, and I swear by my honor that I will protect him, but I need him to try to take to sample the drug, and that someone's life could be saved from it.
How could someone's life be saved from it?
If he asks any more questions, I jingle my bag of coins.
Kind of looks at it, he goes, suppose I'll try it.
Cool.
So I think I probably like while you went to go do this, I probably just to give the kids a little bit more anonymity. Like I know like which sacks came from which kid, and just bring like the that like a platter of it.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we had it down to like you basically know within it was like 30 or so kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like in a larger group.
Yeah. So what I'm imagining is we give him the drug. Wait until it seems like he's. I think you just have to be able to sleep naturally, right? It's not like the drug puts you to sleep.
Well, when you take it, you kind of fall into the dreams. I mean, it's sort of like it kind of knocks you out.
Okay, cool. And then, if possible, I guess if it doesn't seem like the right one, then after a bit, we wake him up and switch to a different one.
Well, the thing is, you have to wait for it to kind of pass. So we'll say
Okay.
this. Probably to determine if it's going to be a little bit. It will take time, and it'll be
Yeah,
a bit
totally.
difficult.
Yeah.
And the two of you are able to both sort of put in here. So I put some stuff here because it could be sort of what you discover or how long it takes. If it takes too long, other bad things might end up happening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I'm imagining that this room is probably quite dark and quite humid. So we're just kind of standing there over this unconscious man for a very long amount of time in this dark, humid room.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of tokens do you think we want, Diana?
I think we'd want to get the cleverness brings an outcome in our favor. So that we get
Reasonable?
the
Yeah.
I'm just worried if there's too many no tokens.
Yeah, you
without
definitely want truths.
Yeah.
truths.
Okay, so we still don't have any gifts because Adam was the one person with gifts. So, oh well. I was gonna say.
I thought.
I gave my gift to put in for Adam's last thing.
Yeah, but you got like.
Out of the jungle.
I thought you should have gotten like 3 back.
Gifts?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about it last time, but we kind of talked past each other. I do kind of.
Yeah. So when you leave the jungle, let me just look this up again. One of the things that happens is. So when you leave, you gain 3 tokens when you return from the jungle if you had a gift lost, destroyed, or expired recently.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason we mentioned he should, because if he took the token, he'd have a gift token, but you would get 3 back.
And are these gift tokens I can't use on myself, or gift tokens I can use?
These are gift tokens you use for others. It's what is that, an abiding gift? It's the
Sure.
yeah.
Is
So
this a
it's,
situation where it's appropriate to count as helping others?
Since we're both technically.
well, and I also think it's also helping the kid if you find out
Yeah.
who had it. So, yeah, because it's not like a thing to save your own ass. You're doing it on behalf of other people.
Okay.
Okay, so and they can just be, and they're treated as like
It's kind of a wild card.
wild
So
card.
I would just put
If it's
one.
if it's 1, if it's 2, the multiple ones become a skull.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you kind of want one to be brought out.
Yeah.
So, because I was thinking, so would it make sense to put one and then like one silence also, or one or minds? If we
I
want,
was gonna say, I'm low on mind, so if you don't
I am
mind
too.
putting a mind in, or
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to put both my mind in, but I was just thinking a gift and 2 mind is probably not a bad way
Okay.
to go.
Yeah, I don't mind.
So I will say, just looking at it though, what you want is a truth.
Okay.
That's true.
Because your cleverness here would end up being something else, but the thing you're trying to find is a truth, and that's going to be a bit
silence.
difficult.
Okay, so maybe we'll keep the gift because that could give us something fun, but maybe we just both chuck in a silence, or I mean, Diana, if you just want to put in everything, if you want to get rid of some of your silence, if you want
Yeah,
to
I can put two. I can definitely put at least 2 silence in.
Yeah.
That 4.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll also put in a silence.
All right.
And then, do you want to put in a gift, or are you happy with just 3 silence?
I think just 3 silence.
Oh,
Great,
okay.
sounds good.
I thought you had put in a gift, so I'd already checked it in. So do you want the gift in or not?
I'll put the gift in. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have 3. I have plenty to go around.
Yeah, gift is a wild card, and that it can be courage, mind, skull, no, or a gift.
Yeah, so that helps. Watch this just make
Okay, so silence, skull,
Okay.
a no token, and a no token.
Okay, so that's a possible truth.
Okay, so a possible truth, and then
If you want to take a silence back, you can.
Yeah, sure.
I don't believe anybody has been impressive in a dangerous or contentious inflection recently.
No.
Okay. So some of those others go away. So you've got Bashir going through a few, as he has to go through several of them. You're able to sort of wake him up, and there's this point he's got to take a break for a bit because you can only take so much of it at any given time, or like your body just doesn't handle it particularly well.
Mhm.
But as he's going through, and you start being able to like kind of knock off the ones that it can be, yours will come down to. Let me do this. iPad's all the way over there. There are 3 possibilities that you're pretty sure who it might be at the time where it kind of becomes important to do something. Let me just get their names on this thing real quick. These work. Okay, so the 3 possibilities that you're going through most of them. You have it down to like really the last 3. As he's not here. There's everything. It's all the common tongue. He's not hearing weird languages in any of the dreams. And the nice thing is, if you talk to someone like directly after they've woken up, they still tend to remember the dreams that right afterwards. And plus, these also stay much more strongly. Talosh kind of like pokes her head in a few times, just seeing you consistently kind of working there. So you're down to these, like basically the last 3. Stalai, Jendel, and Elibris. I'll make a note here. Stalai is a young girl, about 12 years old, fairly scrappy. Jendel, also a girl. She's kind of scared of everything. in a lot of respects. Like she had a brother here at one point that had died. Elabras is a young boy, about 10, highly curious. And you're kind of down to those last three. And there's a point when Bashir's like, I've got to take a couple days. Just because I've got to rest. Because this is a lot. And you've had him go through at this point more than 20. And like I said, you're basically drugging the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And one night when you're there, if you notice these three, we'll say, Jirilo, you're kind of walking back just from getting something to drink, some water or something. You come by, you notice that there is a guard who's lying on the ground. Head's been hit pretty hard. People don't go unconscious the way they do in fiction, in real life. So he's been hit hard enough that he's down and kind of mumbling a bit. Like you're not quite sure, but it's been like it's clearly got hit in the head with something pretty big. The other guard that had been there in this entrance is nowhere to be seen.
Shit. And it seems like he's not mumbling anything coherent, right?
Yeah, it's probably some brain damage.
Okay. I help him like sit up to like against like a wall or whatever, and I immediately like go as stealthily as a minotaur can.
Minotaur stealth.
Try to sneak in to see what's going on.
Tiptoe through.
I'm hoping with me knowing the layout pretty damn well by this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know the place, which helps a good deal. So, as you head in, you see a couple of the guards who've been working here, and they've kind of been reinforced in the last couple weeks, just because of the stuff that's been happening. They just felt a lot better if there are other more guards there. However, also because of what's happening, they're trying to make sure that the guards are a little more loyal, are usually sort of with them. You see two of the newer guards sort of keeping to the shadows and sneaking across one of the courtyards. A few of the other guards that kind of should be there are not. You're not seeing necessarily bodies and such, but you are seeing one of them comes out of, a third one comes out of a like a little storeroom thing, and he's got these large cages.
Enough to fit a child in?
Nope, not that big, but enough, very likely to get quite a few of the shining scarabs.
Okay. Yeah.
It was one of the other.
Direct, yeah.
Do they look like they're armed with anything more than they're supposed to be?
Well, they've got the sword and stuff that they've got with them, and this is like a Bronze Age style things, like the spears and such that they have. Spears are like bronze swords. They've got with them, but they seem to be enough. You do notice that the one that comes out with the things has got like a large cudgel.
And they don't notice me yet, right?
Not as of yet.
I'm gonna try, like, if there's any type of cover to ensure that I don't get noticed yet, and I'm gonna watch where they're going with it.
Okay. So he takes those towards the three of them go towards the I don't know what the nursery seems wrong when it's all scarabs, but that's sort of the place where they essentially breed and keep the scarabs. The other two kind of go ahead, and they're talking to. There's like a guard that sort of just kind of keeps outside of that one. They're talking with him, and he's got like a chaw type thing. He's got, and one of them asks if he's got some more, and he's got a small pouch on the side. And as he kind of pulls it out, you see the Minotaur, like the Minotaur step forward, and just you see the arm come back, and it looks like he had the sword at his side, but he might have had a knife on him, because just the way the guy kind of hangs, just, and then he just, and then drops the guy.
Would this place have had like like some sort of like warning bell system, like
That makes some sense. Or be a place for where someone could strike a
yeah,
bell.
strike a bell, and I would probably, you know, I could probably take the Minotaur. There are other humans around. And I'm not a soldier, dang it. I would go and just do the warning bells to start off with.
Okay. You rush up. So basically, up on this, there's sort of a catwalk kind of thing that kind of goes between these two buildings, and it's got a small little watch thing up there. And
Yeah. Make enough noise to ensure, like, in case there's people trying to go after the kids, because it could be a two-prong kind of thing.
Yeah.
For them to do the safety protocols.
Okay. So as you hit it, you see there's a few that kind of rush into the courtyard that seemed a little too ready.
Ooh.
Look straight up, and there's one this guy that's been working there for about a week or two, but had kind of a lot of mercenary experience. Like, did not seem like someone to mess with. Just sort of sees you, and his eyes grow super cold as he starts to rush towards one of the steps that'll bring him up to where you're at. What do you do? And I'll say, Hepias, at this point, you also hear the bell going off.
Yeah, totally.
I think that by this point, I'm probably convinced the mistress, like, hey, we need some extra help. Hepias can help. He's trustworthy, and all that. So
totally. Yeah.
Maybe you were off duty, like sleeping somewhere.
Yeah, I think I found some place to crash, like, across the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I wake up and, like, you need ventilation in the night. So, like, there's this window next to me. So I like, as I sit up and look across the way, I see, like, the silhouette of a minotaur, like, hitting this bell. So I get up as fast as I can, like, charge across the street.
All right.
Meanwhile, I am going to get ready to go into a combat.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say Hepias, as you're kind of headed, you can see her up and, like, probably. I'm assuming you probably turn Jirilo and get ready, because as he comes up and he's got a spear, and he's like, if it's not one of Talosh's favorites, smartest thing for you to do would have been to stand down.
The smartest thing you would have done is not to have come up here. You think that puny thing's gonna do anything against me?
How many men have you killed?
I don't tell my secrets.
I've killed quite a few.
Humans and minotaurs. Vast difference.
I find they die the same. And he comes up there, and he's got like the spear he's got. He kind of comes forward, like he's holding it fairly close to the tip, but as he comes forward, he loosens his grip enough that it just slides forward like it's about to just like come straight at you. Just it kind of like pokes at your defenses a couple times to see how you react.
I'm trying to think. Would minotaurs normally have, like, defensive weapons, or do we usually tend to rely on our strength and our horns?
It's not unusual to have, like, spears or weapons and such, but you're also not a guard.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a soldier, you definitely have one.
Yeah.
You haven't really been in a position where having a it would make more sense probably for Hepias to have one, at least, just because right now you're on your own. Getting something just in case is not a terrible idea, but you've been sitting pretty at the Shining Scarab.
Well, the whole point of this was, like, the reason I found out was I went to go get a dram of water or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still have the cup, and I throw the drink in his face.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta hit him. That's all you got, huh?
It was a starting move.
I think I'm gonna enjoy this. And he as he goes, and he kind of like keeps a little bit of pace because your reach is gonna be a bit bigger, but he's sort of turning a bit.
I mirror him, like, and keeping my own distance, because, like, he's obviously knows how to wield that thing.
Okay. I was say you see out of the corner of your eye. You also see Hepias running across with what do you have, Hepias?
Um, I have a short sword.
Okay.
Spear would just be a little unwieldy for my current situation. So yeah. But also like I am running at full tilt, so I also just have like the top of my head and my horns kind of in a charging position. But
since Hepias has been around technically a lot longer, I'll shout out to Hepias. Bring down the new workers. Like, because I figure I have not
sure.
much time to say anything. It's like,
yeah,
those are the ones that you need to go attack.
yeah. Might not even have that much discretion. We'll see. But
yeah,
is this we ready to inflection here?
Yeah, probably pretty close to it. I don't think we may. Well, I would say as he starts coming at you, Jirilo, with the spear, and he's probably gets a couple bites out of you because he like doesn't want to necessarily come too close in, so you can kind of like grab him, sort of bear hug him, but you don't have a whole lot more right now on you.
Yeah. I'm kind of like not necessarily trying to deflect too much. Like I'm trying to gauge what he's trying to do, so I don't mind a couple of nicks. Like I figured the spear, like, because it's probably obvious that he's testing the waters. Like he's not going to be stupid and go full on like barrel attack me. So.
Okay. And then Hepias. Oh, sorry.
My goal is to like grab because we're on a catwalk, right? Kind of.
Yeah, kind of like overlooking like the courtyard.
Yeah. So my plan is to grab the spear, and if not break it, like swing him off.
Okay. You're trying to grab forward. He's just.
Yeah.
And then Hepias.
Yeah, if they're up, I was thinking of maybe just doing a drive-by, like trying to hit this, like charge this guy, and then go deal with the other people. But if they're up on the catwalk, that makes it a bit trickier. So as I charge through the front gate, I see these people by the nursery. Yeah. So yeah, I think we should split our forces. I'll trust Jirilo to hold their own, and I'll go basically just charge directly at the Minotaur who's cleaning his sword from the guard who's kind of collapsed on the ground.
Yeah, the other
knife, I think it was.
Yeah, a couple of them rush in with the cages trying to get some of the stuff. What we can probably do is just do this as a single inflection for both of you for this whole thing. Okay. So both of you can kind of put in. So
I'm going to put in one gift to help with Hepias, and then one courage.
I'll put in 2 more courage.
Okay. So we have got a skull.
Okay.
A skull.
Okay.
A courage.
Okay.
And a skull.
Ouch.
That's one where a life might have helped if it came up.
I was thinking about the life, but
same.
It's weird if you put. The thing is, the gift couldn't account it for a life, but it's weird if you put your life in, then it just doesn't come back to you. But yeah, I guess that would have been where a life. Well, I'm sure that we'll have, particularly since this, I don't think this is going to turn out well. We'll have plenty of chances to use the life.
Yep. Yeah, and if you do have a life going, if you've got silence, you kind of want something to come out where you just have like one silence coming at and no others, because that can end up replacing the life token, or you can get those back in the jungle.
Okay. Yeah. Courage back. That's...
Yeah, please. Okay, so I think that is. Otherwise, your caution, fear, inability, or self-doubt brings an unfavorable outcome, because that's the 2 skulls, and it was 2 skulls, a courage, and what?
It's 3 skulls and a courage.
Youch. Okay. So that's all of the skulls, I think, and then I don't think a single courage does anything. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to
oh yes,
see.
it does. You come to a compromise with the opposition.
Okay, so let me just look through and find this because the you know what doesn't help. I should let me look on the thing because I've now gotten used to looking for
The icons.
yeah for the actual icon as opposed to the other one. Um, so I'm
I mean,
trying to
the
see
compromise comes first, so
if anything strikes before. Here, let me see. So with the three skulls or the skulls, would that first skull be if you had no life in your supply prior to the infection, death? Otherwise, oh yeah, you said caution, fear, inability, or
yeah.
self doubt. Yeah, and then that leaves just the courage, and that
Yeah, which
Yeah.
oh, yep, there we go. Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
fine with the compromise being with Hepias's thing.
yeah.
And I
Well,
get the other.
let's find out. Yeah, where do we want to start?
Okay. Yeah, I'll say we'll start up top first. So he catches you a couple times, like once in the leg, another time in the shoulder, with the spear, and goes, "Yeah, you're not someone who's used to fighting or used to killing."
You do know there's more to life than just that, right?
Oh, I get paid well enough for this that I, well, get to enjoy those things.
And I think fear and ability. I think I'm being too cautious, and that's what brings the unfavorable outcome.
Okay.
Is that like I'm not trying hard enough to like try to catch him off guard, so I'm almost too on guard. So I think maybe I do a misstep up on the catwalk, and not fall but stumble enough that it gives him a good enough opening.
Okay. I think a good enough opening is he kind of like brings shoulder down and just like knocks you off of the catwalk. So you land underneath and it hurts. It takes the breath out of you.
Yeah, but at least it's not a sharp thing stuck in
Yeah.
me.
He just looks down and goes, "Kindest thing that'll ever be done for you is letting you crawl away."
Dang, what an asshole.
He goes, "Right, we're low on time." So yeah, you said you were charging at the one in the uh, going into uh, the nursery.
Yeah. Um, I think initially I take him by surprise. And I just ram right into him, and the Minotaur goes sprawling. But then, before I can kind of incapacitate him, the other humans come out of the nursery with cages that are just full of beetles, right?
Yeah, so they've got these ones that are full of them. Some of them are glowing, some of them actually been thing, but a lot of
Yeah.
them are not. Enough that someone would be able to start their own and do a good deal of damage for
Yeah.
this one.
So what I'm imagining is that we kind of end up at a standstill there, where the 3 or 4 of them, like how many were there really?
There's at this point there's about three of them. There's about three of them that come out, and they let's not get too much into narrating it because I've got an idea for a compromise that could end up happening. As they come out, and they've got the beetles, and they're sort of looking down, and you got the one guy that you smashed him up against the doorway.
Yeah.
Like you felt something give when he hit. Like at least some ribs, maybe even his shoulders. It's on the his breathing is a bit ragged. And these ones come out and they've got the cages. They kind of stop for a moment and they just look at you. Goes, "Get in our way is not going to help you."
I spit, and I'm gonna give up a silence token, and I'll say your greed disgusts me.
We'd have thought you might have been for it. We might have given you some, but and they kind of like nods his head over and like across the way from where like the where the kids have been, where you spend a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
There are about 6 kids. The 3 that you're unaware of are among them.
Yeah.
That are being dragged out by 2 guys in there. He goes, taking a big interest in those kids, enough that we were told to grab them too.
Shit, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look between the ones holding the cages and the guards with the kids, and if I have a chance of saving either ones, I'm going to go save the kids.
Okay.
So I will retreat and let them get away, and chase after the guards with the kids.
All right. So you chase, you get the ones with the kids. There's like 2 of them with like 6. You rush past Jirilo. You probably try to like get yourself up and get your breath again.
Yeah.
Have the guards gotten to the kids yet, or
they're actually dragging them out? There's 2 of them that are trying to drag like 6 of them out.
Okay.
Are you getting, like trying to get to your feet, to get your breath again?
Well, no, I wanted to use name tokens for the NPC thing. Like,
okay. The compromise is he'll be able to save the kids. He won't be able to save.
Right. Okay. I guess.
And the thing is, you also can be a part of coming in to save it at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely get up, and then if I see like the kids, that'll be my focus too.
And the other ones, they rush off as soon as you kind of turn back with them. They run off with the cages of beetles. These 2 guys bring us, quick, let's fight. Listen, it'll be fine. Come with us. And they're like, in particular, Jendel's just like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want. And then she sees you because you've been around a lot lately and have been treating them well. She goes, Hepias! And tell me what those 2 see as they turn to look behind them.
Yeah, so I'm brandishing my short sword in front of me, and Jirilo's just a bit behind. And
stumbling to my feet again.
Yeah. And I'm like limping just a little bit from the scuffle with the other Minotaur earlier. And I already know that the others have escaped, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I am not approaching particularly fast. Not going particularly slow, but I'm approaching in. I'm giving them time to think about what they want to do.
And they're sitting there, and the kids are. As you sit there and sort of looks at you, there's just a moment where the 2 of them, they've got the kid, and Stale just literally bites like hard onto the hand of the guy. He's like, ah! And he drops her, and then the other 2 that he had like an arm around, and they rush to kind of pull at the other ones. So when you're heading towards them, they begin to flee.
Yeah.
Do you 2 let them go, or do you try to catch them? And Jirilo, by this point, you'll kind of probably got your breath in you again.
Yeah, I'd personally be going after at least one of them because I want to be able to question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down with that. We basically, yeah. Once we see them let go of the kids and run for it, I think we pounce, and we tackle one of them.
Okay. Yeah, you get one as they're rushing out. One of them. Give me the same ones. You kind of catch him, and the other one like hauls ass, goes up over a wall like surprisingly well. As he kind of hits and he like manages to kind of catch a foot on something and just hits the top of it, and then just kind of rolls. Like it sounds like he may have hit the ground on the other hand a little harder, but you've got Tiatha. Tiatha is a guard who's actually been there for some time.
Gender?
Male.
Okay.
He's like, God.
You know this one?
Yeah, I'm disappointed that you would betray the mistress's loyalty like this. I go to them.
There's a lot of money and a lot of protection.
Give me a reason not to snap your neck.
I can tell you who did it.
Keep talking.
Do you swear on silence or whatever you Minotaurs swear on that I'll live if I tell you?
You'll live, yes.
The more you talk and the faster you talk, the better.
Okay, Paulson hired us. He's with someone with a lot of power. Someone who's able to make sure they protect him when this takes place. And then he kind of like nods over there as you start to see that there's a fire in the nursery.
Fuck.
No.
We're supposed to grab these kids that you were so interested in, and they said that she was interested in them too, and then make sure that Talosh would no longer have any breeding queens to make more of the beetles.
I think at that moment, I put a hand on Hepias, like, I trust you know what to do, and I'm gonna go and try to save some of the queens, like, because the kids are fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you rush in. And like at this point, Talosh is like running across, screaming like for guards of fire. That she's looking around and seeing that there aren't a whole lot of guards. There's at least one person really badly injured, a dead body here and there. As she's looking, as others are coming in trying to find something to stop the fire. And luckily, a lot of these are old stone buildings, so it's not going to spread terribly far in this part of Gauntlet. But we'll see. You manage to get out with like a little bit burnt as you come out, as you sort of Steve Irwin your way out of the thing.
Nice.
You've got there's a couple. Like she used to have basically like a kind of a large brood of these. The queens that would, because like the male bugs are the ones that people take. So the fact that people take them and they get kind of a bit of a refund. It's sort of like a deposit when they bring it back, but they couldn't breed them without the queens. Quite a few have been taken. The fire that was set. Luckily, there's a few of them that tend to kind of be off on their own in a different part. You actually managed to catch a few of those getting out with just a little bit of burnt. Not too much. It hurts some, but you're going to be okay.
Enough that she could restart at least.
Yeah, it'll
set
take
her
time.
back, but
yeah. And others come, and the fire is finally. It's a mix between. They do some stuff to put it out, but to a large degree, it's just it burns through what it can burn through.
Right.
And then it's just got stoned.
Do the bugs make any kind of screaming noise as they're burned?
Oh, that's yeah. I like the idea that as it happens, the ones that are filled, they almost pop. The ones that have got the sleep in them, but as it does, you hear this cacophony of voices.
Ooh.
These bits of like it's a little hard to understand. They even like you hear specific names and sentences and words and such. They actually go through you like a dream.
Oh wow.
Whereas as you hear them, it kind of patches in. Like you're able to catch it and be like this name or this sentence, but it just sort of fades from your memory, like as quickly as a dream does shortly after waking up.
Yeah, so I probably stumble out, and everyone else would think it was like, oh, because I got singed in fire and smoke. But I think it's more like, since we can't technically partake in this particular drug, it's like a rush, like almost like being in the jungle kind of.
You
thing.
could actually drink it. The way normal
yeah, but
do.
I definitely haven't tried.
Yeah, they can't do. Minotaurs can't have their dreams taken because those are more. They've evolved to fit over humans.
Right.
A snout's a little harder.
Yeah, so and I think I wordlessly would hand over like what I had grabbed to my mistress.
Okay. Talosh kind of looks at them as coming and just like a wordless just tears starting to come down and just gives you like a strong hug.
Mm.
As she just sort of looks at what she's got is in some really bad shape. It's a good time to take like a quick bio break and then come back and deal with destruction.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Yo. Sorry, continue. Mm. Um, yeah, I realized this week, and I'm sorry I didn't communicate earlier, but I do not think that I can do next week, unfortunately. Um, so whatever you can do, but I'm sorry. Okay, are we feeling like this is kind of a wrap up then?
I mean, I'm up for anything. Like if Adam's not coming back and we didn't get any other, it'd be kind of silly to do just a one-on-one next week. But yeah, I'm fine with that. And if we need to go just a little bit over to like help wrap it up,
Sure.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be yeah, I'm flying out for a wedding on Wednesday, but I realized that Tuesday we're traveling to a friend in Boston's to like be able to catch the plane in the morning, and
Yeah.
no, so yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I can go a bit over too if we want, but yeah, so that works also because I'm low in silence, so I was wondering like, well, if I went into the jungle now, like that'd be weird kind of like timing as far as like wrapping things up. So I think we can figure out a way to kind of wrap this up and put us in a decent place. Is there anything in particular that we want to like target for that, or should we just see what happens?
I did kind of like the implication that that you were bringing up with like, oh, the family thing.
Yeah, totally.
So if it kind of ends up that way, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
By taking the kid and possibly, depending if Hepias is up to it, we create our own family.
Oh,
Running away is the
I
way I
was
interpret it.
I was saying that you should raise the kid, but
Yeah,
I
but
can
if
I
we
can
have
be
to,
involved in that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's I think that that is what is in the back of our Minotaur's minds, and we'll see what happens. But yeah.
yeah. I mean, it all depends on how well this turns out. Like
Yep.
maybe we don't have to run off and could still technically do that.
Yeah. Okay. Exploding bugs.
I'm sorry. It seems like we probably brought more spotlight than we intended. We were trying to find the one that the Empyrei are after to protect them. And I thought your people were as loyal as us.
Yeah. Money doesn't buy loyalty. Money just buys service. Some people believe in what you're doing, but it's only a matter of time. Probably accelerated by this And you told her about the why you're looking for the kid.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have. I would have expressed that.
It's a weird enough thing that you'd have to be like, why are you having this guy off the street like mainline sleep for like a week on end?
Yeah.
She goes, never in my life would I have thought that some ancient memories of a time before would have been caught by one of these kids, but
Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's what the Empyrei, the ones with the power.
Paulson has what he wants, but Ramiel does not.
No. Do you think it'll take long for you to get back? Obviously not to the way you were before, but enough to keep going. Should we try looking for somewhere else? Go further south in the city?
Smartest thing to do would be to move, because if I try to build up, one, I'm not going to be able to keep up because Paulson's going to push things in a hard way. Probably try to get some again. Like she looks at the back in like the sleeping pits. I do not believe he'll treat the children or the older people well. It'll probably make it so that there's more nightmarish, and people aren't necessarily going to want that, but it's what they're going to have. It's what they're going to have a lot of. It's what they're going to have cheap.
I guess that would make sense to move. And I'm gonna break silence to express my emotions because I'm extremely upset about all this. And it's like, personally, it'd be better if we had the means to enact revenge on Paulson and burn his whole thing down. Even if we leave this place, leave him with nothing.
If it was just Paulson, we could take who we are, we could raid, but it's also Ramiel.
I look at Hepias and go, it's not the first time we've had to take down Empyrei.
If you have any ideas on how to take down Empyrei, I'd support it as best I could.
Have we heard any news about what happened to D'Angelo's?
Oh, what people have said is he's been maybe taken by his father, imprisoned.
Okay.
For the plot.
Okay, so that's not really a helpful resource to us. Not that I expect much from him, but
pitting siblings against each other is always good. The only problem is whoever would take over, they might get obsessed. Maybe it's a curse of the Empyrei. Who knows? Or it's this particular family.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Like, it's just commentary about, like, even if we took down the Empyrei, who else would?
Yeah. Like, there's others who will always fill the space, but others who might not be looking for one of them. I'm assuming you have the three of them that you know are probably...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, like, maybe in the next room, so they're not necessarily hearing this conversation.
Yeah.
But, like... And I guess with the guard that got hit over the head, because then, like, at the very least, he wasn't part of the plot.
Yeah. Anyone who is still here, we can probably trust, because they've taken enough that there's no reason to leave anyone back behind. They're trying to take everything. It'll take me a while to rebuild. I've got money for a while. It's finding the people, the location, the guards, It's the only thing I think I have to do. It's not going to be safe here, because Paulson will come after me if I try to rebuild here.
is one of those things where I have a wacky idea, but I don't know where it actually leads. Which is that I feel like the puzzle pieces we've had in front of us all along are that if and kind of what I was originally trying to do, it just didn't really work out quite right. Is that if someone were to take the dreams of the child who might still have this secret, and also take a whisper seed at the same time, then the whisper seed would give us the, if anything gives us this secret, the whisper seed would, right? It's worth a try. At this point, that's really all we got, apart from like just talking to the kids more. So I can offer that to Talosh, but I don't really know what that gets us. So I mean, I can. I don't know. I'm just.
If you mention it, she goes, it would give us a word that could induce painful seizures in someone.
What would you do with that?
Talk to an Empyrei.
And then?
She kind of like gestures around. I am a drug dealer. I am a drug manufacturer. That's what I do. But I have tried to do it as ethically as possible. What I've done harms no one who it's taken from. There are going to be addicts. There are going to be people who don't handle it well. But if it's not sleep, it's something else. It's a weapon.
If you had such a weapon, would you want to take the name of the Empyrei?
She kind of looks around. She goes, I think I'm made up to be an Empyrei. Be in charge of a large city. To take over. And she kind of looks, she's like, I had this small bit. They'd eat me alive. I would be slaughtered.
I look at Jirilo and I give you a kind of almost imperceptible shrug, and I'll say, if I've learned anything about humans, it's that the safest ones are those that know the limits of their ambition.
Yes, after last time, that's how I feel too. And I look at my mistress, and I do believe she speaks the truth. She just wants to do her trade in peace.
Let's pay a visit to my former employer. And I want to go find Caladro and get a whisper seed out of him.
Okay. When you find him, and you kind of know the places, the names that he would go under, as he keep his own name, usually a secret. But you know when he'd go to a different area, it doesn't take too long to sort of track him down, maybe a day or two. And as you do so, you finally find him. He has another Minotaur who he's hired, both a sort of bodyguard to help things out. He just sort of looks at you, like you knock on his door or the place he's staying.
Hello, Caladro.
Ah. You can't have spent all that money already.
I'll pull out the slightly lighter bag of coin, and I'll say, hopefully not. I would like to employ your services.
He just kind of looks at you for a moment. He goes, "You want to employ? What could have happened to have a Minotaur try to destroy someone like that? Or are you not trying to destroy someone? Are you looking for love? What are you looking for?"
I'm looking for a little bit of peace. And I hope with your speedy and professional help, I will be able to find it soon.
There's a look, and then just what cost you?
Is this not enough?
Yeah, I think you did. It's not. It's not all of what you have, but it's a chunk.
Sure. Okay.
It pulls
I mean,
up
if it was more, I'd just have to go convince Talosh to give us
Yeah.
money.
and he's got like the whisper seed. He goes, I'm guessing you won't need me to actually use it.
Yeah, let's kind of just establish that mechanically. Like, what exactly do we need? Like, do we need him involved, or
No, because the main thing is honestly, like, you don't know how to harvest them. You don't like all that stuff. He keeps very much a secret, but you do know. It's just you put it. Someone eats it. It goes through. You do know how to like. You've definitely seen him use something kind of hard enough to actually like damage the shell, so that you actually can digest it. Like you know how that stuff is done.
Okay. So I don't
Yeah.
need him to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he just
see him do
uses
it.
like to trade in the actual secrets.
Sure.
Like-
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see him good enough.
Yeah. I'll take it from him and I'll kind of like eyeball it to make sure it's authentic.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah.
He goes, see me if you need more.
Cool. Which one of us is taking the whisper seed? What do you think?
I think I'd be willing. I already had a taste of what the dreams can do through the popping bugs. So
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of like you're curious now kind of thing.
yeah.
Cool. Is that where we want to go from here?
Okay.
Yeah, I want us to find the child so we can get that word.
Alright.
And that's what the humans believe in.
So Jirilo, you take like you, and it doesn't take kind of. You got the three of them. I mean, you actually would be able to kind of take dreams from all three of them in one day, and then take the whisper seed.
Yeah. I think maybe by now we might have some kind of guess. Like maybe one of these three children tends to sleep like more so it tends to be more restless in their sleep than the others. Maybe there's signs that we're kind of suspecting which one it is.
Well,
So we keep the three of them together just for extra safety.
some of that'll depend. As you take as you go through, you kind of get the whisper seed, which is not a great thing to do. You clean it as best you can, bruise it, then eat it, and what do you want to put in?
So do we want truth here or outcome?
Okay, I'm trying to metagame as much as possible here, this darn game. I don't think Michael would have put in anything for danger, so there probably aren't any skulls. But there might be silence and no tokens. I can't remember what situation silence tokens come up.
I mean, definitely no tokens. There might
There's
be
definitely no
something
tokens.
else because you are dealing with some weirdness.
And there's
Yeah.
the tokens that we had in there before, right? That didn't get pulled. So
No.
Those all go away when you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Although otherwise it would just become this massive thing of like.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
mean-
what I put in.
As usual, the funny thing about the crater is that I basically always just want the truth. But truth would probably be good. I am down to one silence, so if I put my silence in, we may or may not get it back. And you
Yeah.
were also down to one silence, so if we want to put any silence in, we might not get it back.
Yeah.
But and the darn gifts that don't come back. We have one more gift. So
But the gift doesn't become a silence, so
oh, gift can't become a silence. Interesting. Well, I think that's
So
Okay.
I mean, we could put both of our silence in.
Yeah, if we put both of our silence in, do you immediately go frenzied if you run out of silence and don't get it back?
Yeah, if you don't get it back, yeah, it comes.
Yeah. So it's likely that one of us will frenzy if we both put ours in
Yeah.
because whereas but we're less likely to actually get a good outcome. Uh I don't know, maybe we just put both the silence and the gift in. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just see
I
what
mean,
happens?
it is the final game. So I'm willing.
2 silence and a gift.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, a no.
Okay.
You do want some of those.
Yep.
A silence.
Well, one of us doesn't frenzy.
A gift.
Okay.
I think I'm hoping this is a silence.
Ooh. That is that's
It's an I.
an
It's one of
eye.
the
Yeah.
voices.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because like you're dealing with this ancient weird thing
Okay.
from a time before, so I put one
That
of
makes
those
sense.
in.
Yeah.
Let me.
So we can use our gift as a no token and get a possible truth. And then the eye token becomes an abiding gift and a gift. We could just for funsies, we could turn the gift token into a skull, and then you were harmed directly or from betrayal by a voice. I don't know. That's an option.
No, the thing the abide. Here's the thing: is the abiding gift and the gift token could be the name.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's one of the reasons I put that in there because I was like, I wanted something that was like something that you could actually be like, oh, here, this literally is the name
Yeah, totally. And
of
it
the
does
thing.
make sense that it's related to the voices. Um, as the resident weird thing in the game. Cool. Yeah, so I think we get a possible truth and abiding gift.
Yeah.
So a possible truth, an abiding gift, and is that? Oh yeah, because that can't become a
It can't become a silence,
Yeah,
so we
silence.
have to spend the gift to be a no token,
Yep.
which is why it's a possible truth instead of truth.
Yeah, the other ones I had because I figured it would be the difficult one because you had a couple different possibilities for the kids. Those are the ones that were
Mm-hmm.
left behind.
Yeah.
So you'll need to determine what the this actually might make a really good sort of epilogue because one of you is going to go flying into the jungle.
Yeah.
And actually, the voice might be a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who gets back the silence?
I don't see we should flip for it.
Well, because Diana knows all the tickets, so she gets to decide. So Jirilo gets whoever's the main one gets to decide who gets who gets the outcomes and where the tokens go.
Yeah. I think we could do it either way. I think that the choice that is narratively obvious in my mind is that you get the silence and I go in the jungle. But if you're feeling the other way around, I think that we can make either way work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll take the silence back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing also the abiding gift and the gift token.
The abiding gift I'll give to Hepias.
Okay. Was it if you have it, that means you would have the word. Where Hepias is like heading off into the jungle.
Ah, that's true. So
And considering this will be the last session.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like a thing where because that could actually be how it happens. Because if you say the word and that triggers, it gives you that last bit of silence. Because if you're worried, both of you are sort of down towards the last bit of ability to sort of remain within society at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine then. Like maybe like for a second it seemed like like I was gonna go berserk, but then when I say the name, that almost calms me,
Yeah.
and then just has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So do we want to start from the beginning of that bit?
Yeah. So when you take it, you kind of fall into the sleep, and you're walking along the streets of Gringo Glade, and like the sunlight's almost golden as it comes through you. There's this weird sort of silence in the air, and as you look at people, there's families, and people don't look as poor, as downtrodden. Like the buildings are not mostly in ruins. Things have been built like on top of it. This is Gringo Glade in its heyday. And
Nice.
as you look at individuals, like you hear them talking, and you can kind of understand what they're saying, but you know it's not in a language that you know. And as they're going through, it's just when you look at them, it becomes kind of clear. And as they pass through, like their words kind of fade off as you look at somebody else, and these things happen. There is a moment where you look up and the Watchers, these gigantic towering trees with no vegetation on them that soar, spire way above the jungle. You see them; they're bloomed. There was a time when there was actually greenery up there where the city itself was not so desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And this like amazing amount of sort of peace sort of fulfills inside of you is when you slowly kind of fade out of it and as you're coming back.
Big smile on my face.
And Hepias, are you there when she comes back?
Yeah. So as you're coming back, um, so you've been uh talking in your sleep, of course.
Yeah.
And like that scribe before, I think that we in the room, we actually have to like plug our ears at some point. We try to listen to everything that you say, but we actually can't like handle it. And when you come back, you see Hepias kind of hunched over you, kind of looming over you, your kind of prone form, and starting to breathe heavily. And yeah, I think that experience, after everything in the day, I think that experience is enough to trigger the frenzy.
And I think like so when I wake up, like it's probably one of the most relaxed I've been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aside from like when we woke up in the jungle, because the jungle kind of gives you like that freeing kind of feeling. And I just realized a metaphor for the jungle, but that'll be afterward. I go like, Hepias, what's wrong? It was so beautiful, and like I think I tried to touch like your face just before, yeah. Not it clicking because I'm coming out of that haze. That what's happening
Yeah.
to you?
And yeah, your touch kind of his eyes will focus for a minute. They're kind of they were starting to kind of go out of focus and kind of drift out the window where you can kind of see the jungle in the distance. And so yeah, and what would be the right thing to say to that? Take it. Don't let any of the humans take that from you. and then the grip on your hand starts to tighten, and it kind of almost crushes your hand.
Mhm.
And
I think that's the moment that I realized, like, oh shit.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't say
um,
anything.
yeah. Uh, the past might have been beautiful, but the present is far from it. I've had enough, and um, you I'll drop your hand, and Hepias just goes right through the wall, I think,
All right.
because there's this window there, and just kind of like takes a bit of window frame with him. But he'll just like beeline it, charge right through the wall, and head out to the jungle.
Okay. So the one thing that this
Michael,
will
you're muted.
oh. So the one thing that this will mean though, is since she did witness you like frenzy,
I
the
know.
chances are low, but
Gotta follow the rules.
there are 5 name tokens because you have a shit ton of name tokens.
Yes.
There is 1 silence because the tragedy of ending up like in the jungle with the thing unable to help them would be ironic. Okay. I picked the 1 silence.
Is that's the stay, right?
No, it's the name
that's
is
the
the
go.
stay. Because
The
if
name
you
is the stay. Okay.
or wait. Let
I
me
thought it was the
double
other
check.
way around. I
Oh.
thought the more name you had, the more
Oh
likely
shit!
you are
Yeah,
to
let me double check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is the name makes you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Then you are actually almost. Yeah.
Yeah. I was confused there. If you want to look that up,
Yeah.
I'll
Check it real
give
quick.
you yeah. So the last bit we get of Hepias is
Oh yeah, it's a if it. All the silence in a name, create or draw one. If it's a name, it's frantic.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yep.
all these come
Yeah.
back to you. You had a 1 in 1, 2, 1 in 6
Dang.
Yeah.
chance of not frenzying,
Yeah.
of not going frantic there, and you didn't.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking the odds were the opposite. I'm like, she's not going to go frantic, but let's just double check because I had that backwards.
Yeah. So Hepias charges through the city and has images in his mind of the nursery burning down and the children being dragged away, and flashes back to basically like after we get something we didn't see on camera before, but he sees in his mind is the guard who we captured and questioned before. After we got the answers out of him, just like punching the crap out of him, and him just kind of being in an unconscious heap. And then the words that you were saying in this other language that had almost this beautiful quality to them, but just an overwhelming beauty, like it was just too much. And then and as he's charging through the city, people take pot shots at you. So there's he gets like a spear to one arm and gets a pretty bad cut. And then finally we reach the edge of the city, and he's standing on top of a wall right in front of a jungle. And with the blood filling his eyes as he looks up, for a second, he sees the trees. He sees the watchers with branches unfurled. And then as he kind of shakes his head and clears his eyes again, they're back to normal. And then he plunges into the jungle.
And as soon as it's like shortly after he leaves, after he heads out, you hear commotion. Jirilo out in the courtyard. As you come out, there is Ramiel with several guards with her, and goes, "You still have something that I want."
I think. Yeah, I think Jirilo's. Sorry, I have to take a phone call real quick. I'll be right back.
It's fine.
Yeah. I kind of regret not being there to cause some trouble before stampeding out, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I also figured that this is a really good like cinematic sort of way to end
Yeah.
the thing. You've stampeded. She's got that last probably moment.
Yeah.
She's got the word. They don't.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't remember if we talked about it last time. If you saw that when I posted about it on the Slack, but Jason was saying that I guess Paul Zaga was saying about 16 sessions. Is usually kind of.
Yeah. I'm not on the Gauntlet Slack, but I remember I've seen Paul talk about Clay That Woke on Twitter. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense as far as the whole like will the Watchers unfurl thing is a very like coy kind of like idea for like how to end the game. Like it's kind of like an absurd question, like will this like totally messed up society like have you saved it is kind of a trap as far as questions go. But I guess like maybe after 16 sessions you might be able to answer that question.
Well, I have a feeling like because I will talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found the nature of like everyone starts off really like unproactive.
It's okay.
No
Everything you good to go?
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the question, or what was?
Yeah, she she had come in and she got some guards. Like, you still have something I want.
Who's saying that? Sorry.
Oh, that's Remiel Empyrei. She's come with a number of guards.
Let's see. Okay. Like yeah, like that. Seeing Hepias go berserk, and partially because of it being his fault. Though obviously not really. It was the whole stupid foreign name from the past and everything.
Which you now have.
I wanted break silence, but then I don't want to go.
So if it's not clear, because of the eye token that's drawn, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, basically what we got is an abiding gift and a gift token. So you have the gift token, but then the abiding gift is the name. So you have the name.
I'll say at this point, narratively, we're at that point where there's probably not going to be an actual Crater of Lots for the last bit, because this is kind of a nice, like a good little capstone.
Yeah, I'm just like I think at that moment Jirilo wants to really, really break silence, but knows that if they do, that's going to be it, and then there'll be no one to help the children or help his mistress.
You're like barely holding on.
Yeah.
So he heaves a big sigh and like clenches his fists and just like one last look at the direction that Hepias ran off to. And maybe like kind of hears like whispers of not just of like the dream, but like the whispers of the jungle too. And turns to the Empyrei. You'll never get that name.
Just sort of smiles and she goes, "We don't need her. We just need the children." A couple of them kind of draw their swords and start walking towards you. And you got the other guards that have been hired are the Talosh's guards are a little bit away and looking like not quite sure what to do, because going up against her will probably not work out terribly well.
Right. And where are the kids?
The kids are back in the room.
Okay, so they're technically momentarily protected. At the very least. So that's at least one less worry for the moment. You'll have to get through me, but I do have the name.
And the guys coming up to her don't seem to understand what that means, but Ramil kind of gives you a look. So the guards are not going to stand in front of you. You want us to kill her? Yeah. What do you do?
I want to go. If I have to go down swinging, I'm going down swinging.
Or do you use the name?
Not at first, because I think I have enough anger and frustration.
Okay.
You have some things to work out first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I'm not gonna break silence, I gotta break something. So
if you're gonna use it on someone, you're gonna use it on Ramil, right?
yeah.
What if
And narratively, you can use it more than once.
Yeah.
Since,
But
since we won't be, it's towards the end. We won't be pulling. We'll be.
Yeah. What? Please take this and change or embellish it as you want. But what I have in my head is, as like there's you've kind of punched through these guards, and as you approach Raymil, you can lean down and just kind of like whisper in her ear.
yeah, that's kind of like what I was. Yeah, like
Uh-huh.
all the anger, like roaring and everything
Mhm.
through punching getting through the guards. And actually, what I do, and it's kind of like a mockery kind of way, like kneel down in front of her, look up, and go Empyrei, and then I use the name instead.
She starts to like tremble. She falls to the ground, and the couple of guards that are still with her do the same thing. As they're all just like convulsing. At which point, the other guards, like the guards for Talosh, who kind of they're looking at you kind of wide-eyed, and Talosh is like, "We should probably kill her."
Do the Empyrei's, do they wear anything that indicates they're Empyrei? Like
No, because I mean it's the family that just happens to be in charge of just about everything. It's not really a title. It's just or I mean they may take it up as a family name, but no, there's not like a thing of office or anything.
But like there's no like crown or like brooch or signifier.
No, I mean she has like a signet ring. She's got like a ring that is fairly recognizable.
Okay, I take the ring.
Okay.
I take the ring. I stand up. It's gonna be so silly, but I don't care. I put the ring on the tip of my horn. And if they're coming towards me, like right before like their weapons would hit, I would say the name again.
Okay. Yeah, like the ones killer. Talosh is saying that about Ramil.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. No, yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, maybe we should kill her. Do you let them do that, or do you do it yourself?
Yeah, no, I do. I let them.
Yeah. They come in and they just kind of like pick her off, and the guards that you're going to leave. At this point, you've at least like everyone's kind of wide-eyed at you for the thing that you just did. But you are, for the moment, safe. And do we want to go to the two nameless minotaurs?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. The rule I always forget.
I want to say it's two. We're back at the previous area of town where this all started.
Okay, first session. Yeah. Okay.
In that area, where I presume Raleigh is the Empyrei.
Okay.
That area.
I think she's very old.
Yeah. But she's managed to keep on. She's one of the few that's managed to keep on being the Empyrei through old age.
Yeah.
And
is it fair to say that Jirilo has decided to take a leadership role amongst the humans?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And has taken in those kids.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
As for what
So
these two minotaurs are doing.
yeah. I think we are two royal guards, and Raleigh is there. But as we've done in all of these scenes, of course, in the background, we are standing guard, and Raleigh's in the background, throwing a fit. And yeah, so I lean over to you, and I kind of under my breath say, why is she taking this news so badly?
I hear it's because she knew the person. Well, Minotaur, if the rumors are to be true.
Uh, she humans know plenty of minotaurs, so this seems personal to her.
Yeah, it's strange. She doesn't seem to get close to any of us. You know, I mean, you've been in her service for quite some time now.
Yeah. And I believed that in her old age she was growing lax. The days of Raleigh, nameless minotaur. The days of the Empyrei the tyrant are behind us. It's been years of peace recently.
But did you hear about what happened in the north?
Uh, I heard rumors.
Having to do that strange dream drug that seems to start that's becoming popular around here now.
Yes, I haven't partaken myself. Kind of, I side eyes you.
No, neither have I. I've heard people partake.
Yeah.
There's this one minotaur who seems to be very addicted to human women's dreams.
But up north, the rumors of I've dreamed my entire life of hearing of a minotaur ruling over men, but to I would have hoped that it wouldn't be through fear. I would have hoped that I'm sorry, continue.
You would think a philosopher minotaur, especially, if the rumors are true.
Well, sometimes fear is all the humans know.
Minotaur nods, and then we hear crashing in the background. Yeah. She's really worked up. Can you ever be that worked up in their old age? But I hear also the reason why this one is a little more leans more on the fear is they're waiting for someone.
Could be.
Do you think there'll be more minotaurs like them?
Well,
taking power?
And I'll kind of give a conspicuous look around and say there's plenty of us around here. Raleigh mostly employs minotaurs.
That's true. Maybe someone beat her to the punch. employing one of us was going to be her last hurrah or something.
Or maybe she just needs a strong word.
Yes, a strong word. And he gives like a wink, like that's what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's, I with that I think there's the sound of a crash of a large pot in the background, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nameless Minotaur scenes.
They're fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would both get a name number.
Yay! I gets it too.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a shame we're not able to get the one more, but like I really liked what was being created there.
I also kind of really like this with 2 players. Like sometimes there's just like games that like three worked well too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay that we never had 4 players. I feel like it might have been a bit more of a vignette kind of thing if we had 4 players.
With 4 players, you kind of have 2 stories, kind of like people on either side of you have kind of 2 parallel ones.
Yeah, and that can be fun because you kind of like obliquely reference the other story, so that's always good. But sometimes it's nice to kind of have a tight thing. So
yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
But yeah, like I feel like it Jirilo, even though it's almost impossible to guess how long one would be in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
State like would have helped his mistress like move locations, everything be safe, because that's just good practice anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Would have stayed there in hopes that Hepias would come out the same area.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I think that and you know, the story closes before we find out when Hepias comes back, but I think that if we were to get a shot of Hepias, it's in the jungle. Hepias is now looking for the golden glow again, or whatever the name of the bright voice. That's it.
I also had a picture of a man with green hair, with moss green hair, setting a plate of tubers down for an old friend who happens to be coming back through.
Yeah, totally. And so I think that before Hepias was really like trying to get out of the jungle as fast as possible and get back to normalcy, but Hepias tries to pursue the bright voice, and yeah, but who knows what happens with that? But eventually Hepias will return, but it might be sometime later.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's I would love to talk proactive, especially after that first job, how proactive you both became. Because like it's a weird thing at first when I have people play it the first time. There's this thought of like, oh, I'm like a servant, so I do what the person I'm working for says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then to see them break, because it's a little harder to push them into when do you do something. It's like, well, where's your breaking point?
Yeah.
But then you're like, nope, screw it.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the one thing. Yeah, I it's one of those things where you wonder what the vision of how. I think we probably were driven to play it in kind of the imagined way, but I think if you were going to play it over a larger period of time, the beginning part would involve more like restraining yourself from doing what you want to do and then watching things fall apart around you so that you have more of a low before you get to your high. I think that's kind of where the silence would come in, because things just kind of pile up on you. And then you kind of find out how far you go before you break. Mm-hmm. And I think that we were a little more proactive, like you said, and just kind of decided like, well, enough is enough.
Well, I feel like that's because like the whole thing with like for justice and the social good overcomes that the traditional we're like servants,
mm-hmm.
so you like kind of obey the person's employer.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's the standard for it or what.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, the part of the setting that feels a little elusive, but just something that stuck out of me from like an interview with Paul or something about is that part of the idea is that the Minotaurs are of course happy in the jungle, but because Minotaurs can only breed with human women, like kind of continuing the existence of Minotaurs requires living with humans, right? So it's kind of like you're forced to live with the humans, even if like you could just go off and just be in the jungle all the time.
Yeah, like yeah, I guess it's the way that things were worded and like the different like types that you could become. Because I've played a couple of games. They're like there were text games, role playing games where it was like there was a slave. It was like a slave type of world. Like you and I always like liked to play the like everyone else was like totally in the role if they were the slave. Like, oh, this is the way it is. We just have to listen. And I liked playing the one that was never happy, like the outlier. And I just couldn't, for some odd reason, I couldn't think of that. Like it, like being like that like harsh outlier, but at the same time, like there would be people who would be like they'd be okay with this, but want to like
you played a very compassionate Minotaur the entire time. You played a Minotaur that really cared about specific humans.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the reasons is like, oh, I decided early on, well, subconsciously, because it definitely wasn't a conscious choice. So it's like, oh, the Mistress of Wares, he's in love with her. And the fact that she came with him bloodied was like, okay, there's no slow going about this. It's like...
Yeah. It was a bit of a shame that Adam had to drop out, because Adam was definitely kind of Adam was part of the reason why the two of us kind of moved in this direction, because Adam from the very beginning was very like, I'm going to blow stuff up. So,
a little more mercenary.
Yeah. So,
yeah, which was fun and interesting. But
have either of you played or ran My Life with Master?
I've not.
No, I've been a little wary about that one but I've only like vaguely read it once or twice.
Yeah.
I think with that one, I would have to play with people I'm comfortable with.
Totally. Yeah. I played at a con with different Michael, can't remember his last name. But I played with a very good GM at a con, so I had a good experience with it. But it's kind of like the more so version of this, which is what I was thinking of. Just because it very much has that, like, just bad stuff piles up that you can't really do anything about, and then at the very end you are kind of empowered to do something about it. So similar kind of feel in that regard. But
yeah, like, no, this was like, this is probably, and I would have thought Good Society would have been, but like a very slow game. Like, this isn't, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, but it's just like, because I'm so used to with games like having like either really quick rising drama or like the action or fights, and this one isn't, and it's like, it's kind of refreshing, but it's like, it's so strange because you're not used to that.
Yeah,
totally.
Role-playing game.
Something else, I definitely like. There's times I have to take time on like digging the characters and stuff more. But a lot of this was kind of getting you all together. Here's the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I by its nature, it kind of feels like it's a more contemplative game leading up to those things, as opposed to...
Especially if it's supposed to be 15 sessions at least to get the full... Like, that's a lot of sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything. But I can also see that. And what I wanted to mention, what I kind of realized with the jungle... this is something, if you know women very much, like if you interact, especially when they're on their periods, I realize there's a correlation between that, because the jungle is something that happens, like, it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's like, it's brutal. But when you're as a woman, you're kind of like in this weird, because the chemicals and hormones, you really state where you don't give a fuck about anything anymore. Like, you know what? I don't care. These are my emotions. I'm not packing this down anymore. Leave me alone for 3 days, please.
I love that association. That's great.
Yeah, and then also back in the day when people didn't understand that, they would throw women into houses where they would have their periods all at once and just let them be, and it's all like the enigmatic women mysterious thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of the jungle, because then when you come back, you have a name, you're calm again, kind of thing. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, like, since this was written by a guy, I doubt. But yeah.
I may have had to put up with bullshit in there, but it was different bullshit. So I'm okay.
It was different bullshit. We could all agree on the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it is like I think this is one of the few games that does try to like talk about gender in different ways.
Yeah, in one very, very specific way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting, yeah.
And yeah, because it's mostly on the male perspective, and it's not like, you know, against women in any way or like being negative towards women. It's just like this weird, interesting society. Which and then I think I mentioned in the first session. It's like, oh, it's like like trying to figure out a specific type of toxic masculinity that's happening in society. That's not the fault of anybody. It's just what is believed. Because sorry, go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
But like, because like we didn't get to like these parts. We kind of hinted like the women who do fall in love with the Minotaurs, they're the ones that get ostracized even worse than the guys, and that's very parallel to society, where if a woman is very sexually active, that's bad.
Yeah.
Where if a guy is very it's like, oh well, that's just nature kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to explore those more, and those feel like it's sort of because of the nature of Gauntlet games, where it's like a limited run. You know it's a limited run, and you also know people will be coming in and out. Like slowing down to really sort of, because I was thinking partly today, I'm like, this is a home game. We'd have taken more time to explore those other relationships and other people. Like we'd have built up more of those, because it would have been like, well, we have until we're done, as opposed to we've got this many weeks and then on other stuff.
Totally.
But I gotta say, Michael, you did a really good job with the pacing, I think, and then with the mysteries.
How would you feel about sharing that Trello board? Because I am interested in what your prep process was like.
Yeah, let me actually get you a couple things here.
This is a game I definitely would play again. I just can't see myself GMing it.
I kind of want to try. I'd want to do it with people in person, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you just have to, like you said, you kind of have to be willing to let the game go at its own pace. And sometimes that can be hard to do as a GM. So,
well, I'll say
definitely a little daunting.
Partly when I mean just game in general, and my improv background is a big part of this. Like, I love character relationships, and if I know what's gonna happen, like if it's like a module where then you got to hear it, then this happen, I will be bored as hell very quickly. Like my thing is I like it. My preference for a game is I can kind of like get a ball rolling, and then I'm following the players.
Yeah. Like
for me, the best visual image I can think of for what for me is ideal GMing. You seen Wallace and Gromit Wrong Trousers?
Yes.
You know when he's in front of the train with the stack, where he's like he's laying the track directly in front of like right before it goes there. I'm like that for me is like that's my sweet spot. That's where I like to live. Where it's like I am as much a player in a lot of respects.
Yeah, totally.
I'm the paranoid person that I need to have it like prep. Like I can improv pretty well, but I'm always paranoid that as a GM, like if there's a lot of like silences, like oh shit, I'm not engaging. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? Like But if at least I have stuff down, even if we don't get to it, because obviously the players will derail. But at least I'm like, oh, okay, well that's the player's fault, not my fault, kind of thing.
So I just sent two things to both of you.
Thank you.
One is a link to the Trello, and the Trello is essentially. So I did a Google Doc. Now this is actually more than I tend to prep. It's a little more specific, just because the nature of the game is so much different. Than most other games. I'm like, well, I'll go more into the specifics. But it's like when the first time I did Dogs in the Vineyard was the same sort of thing. But now when I do dogs, it's more notes. So this was one where I kind of wanted to go in with, okay, here's the stuff going on. I even created a quick a template at the bottom of that Google Doc, and I moved some of the used jungle encounters down there.
Nice.
But I went through and kind of said, okay, here's how he says to set it up. So I would go through and I would set up those things to know how that stuff goes. Like especially after having run more than just like a one or two shot now. Like in the future, I wouldn't need to do as much. But it basically just be these things done as like individual sentences or kind of stuff. Like here's the basic
Totally.
Stuff. I love using Trello. I find great for role playing games, like keeping notes, moving things around. I've used it for.
I never thought about using Trello for that.
If you play Microscope, you can play. You can use this for the Microscope. Easy as hell.
That's fun.
I've got one for when I ran Wield for a little while on Gauntlet, and we created a world at first, and we created what was supposed to happen in that third age of the world, and then the players destroyed what was supposed to happen. I did that, and I've used it for a couple other things.
Yeah, like when I played Universalis on Twitch, we just had this shareable Google Doc and everything, and then eventually, like, because we technically planned to have a second season of it, I forget what site I was using, but I was trying to make like little cards, like digital cards, to have all that information about the different. Because in that one, you can play any character at any scene. Like you create the rules of the universe, and then you create like little templates of whatever character you create, and the way it's done is through coins that you spend, and then like and then someone decides, okay, well the next scene is going to be this, and I want to have these characters in it, and then people was like, well, I'll spend coin to be this character this time. And it was really fascinating, but then the Google Doc was getting too long. It's like, okay, we need a way to be able to, like, in person it would all be index cards, kind of thing.
This might be a good one for it. And also I love troop style games where you just go like, you show up and go, okay, today I'm going to play Your Estranged Wife. I'm going to play like
I mean, we had our preferences, but it was fun to like mix it up. And like I backed Archives in the Sky, which does a similar thing. Except it's like whoever's not in that scene, they play like outside forces, like they're the GMs technically.
Cool.
And that one's a spacefaring game, but that one, it seems like also would be better. It's technically made to be in person, but maybe Trello. Yeah, because I've started using Trello to try to like organize my own shit. But yeah, I gotta look into it to see how that will work for RP. Like,
yeah, I've got yeah, I use it for. I said a bunch of stuff. I mean, sometimes I'll take more notes during a game than others. A lot of times I don't need as much, but there have been a few where I've used quite a bit.
Nice, very cool, very cool. That was great. I really enjoyed that. I'm glad that we could. I'm glad that we ended up kind of doing this double feature for the last two sessions. Kind of made that go a bit more smoothly.
Thought that worked really well.
Yeah. One of Paul Sega's, one of the games he's been working on for a long time, which might come out someday, is called Traversers, and it's about time travelers who are all women. Ooh. So it's kind of like a flip of this in a way. I don't actually know much about it past that, so I don't know. But yeah, this is a very enigmatic game, so it's fun to finally get to play it. I still don't understand. I have a feeling that part of the point of the crater is that the choices are deliberately a bit confusing, so it feels more like some arcane ritual.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you look at it, like you have to believe that there's some kind of pattern in there somewhere. But like I really couldn't tell you what it is.
Well, I think some of it's going, okay, what do I want out of it?
Yeah.
And then going, okay, what's probably in there? Knowing.
Yeah. Sure. But like the particular combinations that get you a particular thing like don't necessarily make sense to me. And I think part of the game is just accepting that as part of the madness of the De Gringo Glade. So
I have a feeling that there is because if you kind of like what the mind and stuff, I mean, with the cleverness or the fight, I mean, life tokens really only come into it like 3 times it looks like, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have physical confidence or skill. So if there's a fight and there's a bunch of stuff in there, you want at least one player token left in there, but drop in a life token, and get a name off. You get a name off of that. It goes into a biting gift, becomes an essential gift, so you can use it for your own stuff. And then you're reckless. Then it's also possible to decrease because it sounds like life token, for example, should not be used when you don't have skulls in there.
Sure. Yeah.
I think some of the other ones have silence has a lot to do with silence and name to sort of I think name kind of asserts your will on the on the world itself. A likely
Mhm.
threat or opposition ducks out or doesn't materialize.
Yeah.
Your efforts change the mind of the opposition.
A momentary delay as you and your opponent learn to respect each other. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. But I think I got a split, but I have had a great time. Thank you so much for running this, Michael.
I had a great time. Thank you all for
Yeah, thank
playing.
you. It was
Yeah.
fun playing, and hopefully we'll see each other in other games.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shame that I couldn't do next week, but I'm happy where we ended. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
hope
Have
you
a
guys
good night,
have a good
everybody.
night.
Have a good one.
Later.
Later.